Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. It is Monday, June 14th. We're going to talk about Gamestop, Corsair, some of the hype stocks right now, Wish, Eyes, UONE, ORPH. So sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. And what I'm sharing today is not financial advice, and it's not even actually typically what I would do. However, we are in a very specific situation. Historical, once in history event, I believe, with the GameStop short squeeze. And so I am bending my own rules for it to be able to capitalize on such a historic moment in history. So with that, I typically invest 80% of what I want in the stock market in a long-term portfolio that I don't trade with. I buy shares that of a company that I think will be here in 10 years, or that I at least know. And best is if it's all three. If it's ones you use, you know really well, you think it'll be here in 10 years. And then I try and wait for a nice price on it, slowly scale in, and then don't sell it ever. I don't have a target price or anything. I'm trying to sell these out. I'm going to just be holding these. And then in that long term, I like to have some dividend, some growth, maybe half and half, depending on your age and your plan. But let's talk today about my audible strategy with GameStop. I sold a house and I want to buy GameStop with it. Typically, I wouldn't recommend selling a house to buy shares of hyped stock that just seems like it's way overvalued and overinflated and just has a bunch of kids and apes going crazy for it. However, there's enough information, enough due diligence that's been done, enough history that now we know what's actually happening with GameStop, and we know that this is just setting up for a massive, massive, massive short squeeze. The biggest I think we'll have ever seen in history. So I am selling my house to buy GameStop. Here is the money. It was pretty crazy. We closed, and I had it wired straight in my brokerage. So we've got $272,262 in here now. Before we wired it in, I had like 20 something in here. Yeah, about 20,000. So my plan I trade options mostly, so I invest with shares. However, with that much money, I'm not going to put it all into options that expire as far as buying them. But what I am going to do is sell options to potentially buy them. And this is a strategy that Warren Buffett and a lot of people use when they went to buy shares of something. They sell puts on it. So my plan is to sell puts on GameStop, and if the price goes low enough, it will exercise those puts and then I'll own those shares. GameStop's at $229 today. It closed at. So to sell a put, let's say at $200, is going to cost you $20,000, because a put is basically the right to 100 shares. 100 shares at $200 is $20,000. So that's the amount of money that you have to have on hand to be able to sell that put. With over $250,000, I can sell quite a few puts, depending on my strike price, of course. Today opened up and I got excited, didn't exercise enough patience, and sold a put. I sold a 220 put, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. A little close to the money, maybe closer to the money than I should have been. On the hourly chart, GameStop's looking good. We've got green candle over the 9 moving average. Not great, but better than it was this morning. MACD crossed over since this morning, now bullish. Crossed over the signal. We've got green on the histogram. My 220 floor, I think it could hold. However, if you look on the daily on here, it's kind of looking like a little bear flag setting up with the pole and then the flag, and MACD's crossed over bearish on the daily. If we look at what we're doing here in the history on it, we've got the failed to deliver here, shot up to here, and then it kind of set this descending floor up. That's kind of what we had here. We had the failed to deliver here, shot up to here. Now we're at that sell-off, and so I'm not sure if it's going to have kind of this descending floor like we did for this whole time. I think it'll be shorter lived than that, as well as this failed to deliver didn't give us the same amount of price action to the upside, and that's because they're using other strategies now to basically short this stock. So their failed delivers, I think there's a lot fewer of them, and that's why we're not seeing it go crazy. as well as once it gets to 350, as you can see here, it's a big problem for them. So they're doing everything they can. They're using dark pools. In fact, most of the shares traded on GameStop are in a dark pool. They aren't even exchange on New York Stock Exchange. So you're not even seeing what's going on. And that's one of the way they're manipulating the price action. However, even on the stock exchange here, we have a nice cup formation, and we're setting up a little handle here. So cup and handle is a bullish, very, very aggressive bullish pattern setting up. We'll see if it plays out. If it does, it'll be a handle, and then it'll come up and it'll break new high, and then it'll go crazy. There is another fail to deliver coming up next week, next Friday. So that could correlate with, is it Friday or Thursday? I'll have to look on our Discord, which you can jump in. It's in the description. Yeah, I think it's Thursday, maybe 24th, 23rd, one of those days. And that would correlate nicely with this handle. There's the 24th right there. We're coming here, and then, so we'll see. We'll see on that. But I'm going to be selling puts. Like I said, I sold some. I actually got scared. I got fudded out by my own Discord, if you can believe it. And I thought that's strike price is a little high for this daily chart looking so bearish. However, we might not test lower. I'm going to see tomorrow when it's dropping down. I'll probably sell them again tomorrow and maybe sell for this this 200 or this 190. So I think if it does come down further, I think we'll find support around this 190 prior resistance here and here. That's my kind of guess at this point, just based on the chart. But we might just hold this floor up here. This might have been the low of this 206. So GameStop's got a lot of news coming out next week, especially, and some this week, I believe. But I think most of it is next week. So once we sell those puts, we'll be looking good. The collateral on them was, or not the collateral, but the premium on was crazy. I had when I opened it up, it was 15,000 in premium, 15,900 to sell those 10 puts. And yeah, so if I can get it that close to the money, that's great. I'll be able to collect a lot of premium. However, I'll probably have it a little bit lower since it is kind of bearish looking. If it was at a time when it's trading flat, or it seems like it's going to run soon, or it's like here, then I would be more aggressive with my strike. However, when it's bearish, it's not really the time to be selling puts. However, I want to get this theta decay premium because I don't think much is going to happen with the stock this week. Maybe a slow melt off. But some people are predicting a lot of price action tomorrow. I don't see it so far in the charts. Typically, when you have a big sell-off, it's not just going to have a big rebound. It's when you fall off a cliff, it's going to take a while to get back up. You're going to crawl. You're going to army crawl. You're going to have to fix a leg, do something before you can run again. You do a little stumble, like right here. Trip down a step. You might dust yourself off and start walking again quick. So that's the difference between a big fall and a little fall. There's a little fall and you can get back up and keep going. There's a big fall. Might take a little bit of consolidating before we are running once more. That's what was so interesting about the price action back here. Big sell-off after earnings like normal with GME, but then it fell on the day before failed to deliver. So then the failed to deliver came the next day and then it ran up. So this was a very unusual price action here. But that's why it was cool to see that happen. So anyways, I'm also going to get naked calls and exposure to GameStop once I believe the actual short squeeze has begun. We've got debit spreads for it, 410 and 420 today, or I got them last week, but they expire on Friday. This was in case today's failed to deliver did much. And tomorrow could run up a little bit. On the hourly, it's somewhat bullish, so might see some price action tomorrow, but I'm not expecting anything too crazy this week. So that's what I got on GameStop. Corsair, absolutely crazy today. Today had the biggest volume. It was all sell volume. Biggest volume ever on this stock by far. Maybe 2 times, 3 times. The next biggest volume we had was during that short sneeze with GME back in January. That had 14 million. Today on Corsair, it had 64 million. So crazy volume on this thing. I think Corsair has been heavily manipulated and shorted for months now, basically since back here. And it was evident when that short squeeze happened that Corsair was one of the ones that ran. Clearly the shorts had a lot of exposure there that they had to cover when that was going on. So We'll see. I think Corsair will continue. I did get some calls on it. I didn't get them back here, unfortunately. Those were crazy thousand something percent gainers, multiple thousand. We can just look at it really quick. It's funny because I've had a lot of calls on Corsair. I've tried to trade it for earnings, tried to do this, and it's just been suppressed so heavily. So if we look at like, let's just look at this 37 call. So here's the 37 call, 37 strike expiring on Friday. And what were these idiots thinking back here, huh? What were you guys thinking? Why would you buy this 37 strike expiring on Friday when Corsair is trading like, hasn't had any price action? It's been just flat for months and months and months at $32. Why would it go up to 36? Why would you do that? Well, they were thinking something. And here it is. 21 cents, 22 cents, 23 cents. Today those were worth $7. So that's a big gainer. 22 cents into $7. Times that by 100, $22 into $700. That's one contract. You have 1,000 of those. That's a lot. We missed that. However, I did get a little rebound today. I figured there'd be a continuation on it. So I was watching it, and once I saw just this one green candle over the 9 moving average, I bought 3 calls for this Friday. There's already a ton of premium on them, so kind of a risky play, but I did. I got 3 calls for this Friday, and they lost value as this went on. They were down maybe up to 30% even by here. And then this candle, and then all this. Up here, they were up like 120, 130% just in this price action right here. The strike price I got on them was 45 calls for Friday. Maybe should have done debit spreads just because the premium's so crazy, but yeah, these ran up, and I sold one of the 3 for about 100%. So I sold it for $2.56, and I bought these for $1.32. So made about 100% on one. I've got 2 left, and they're worth 92 cents now. I think it could have a continuation. I'm sure hoping it's not that quick of a pump and dump. I love Corsair for the long term. We've got it in our long term. I actually have a covered call on it that I'm probably gonna have to roll over if this continues on, because it's a 35 strike on the covered call. So good to see Corsair running. I wish it was more of an organic, natural run and not just from some kids with computers. I don't know. That's me anyways. Maybe this will get attention on it. Maybe people will actually see that this, learn about this. I use Corsair in my computer that I am talking to you on right now. I love their components. I love all their streaming, their Elgato, everything they're buying up. I think Corsair's got a great future. That's why I have it in the long term. And the other trades I did today, with all this new money in the account, I tried to exercise discipline and not go crazy. Went a little crazy, but not too crazy. This looks like it's crazy, but it's not as crazy as it looks. So I sold the puts. I got out of that, in and out of that, got in and out of ORPH. So I was like going crazy, and I decided, okay, I need to back out. So I just closed out of some stuff. I was like, I shouldn't be doing all this. We bought debit spreads on AMC. So AMC looks like it's definitely stealing thunder from GME. It's got a nice little setup here on the hourly, the MACD, and these nice green candles. Pretty good volume also over the 9 moving. The only concern is that it's not really broken this resistance from back here yet. However, I think it looks like we're going to do it in the after hours and tomorrow. On the daily, little choppy. MACD still good. Kind of a pendant type thing here going on. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. This wasn't a huge play. It's a debit spread because the premium's crazy on here. The 78.79 debit spread, I got 21 of them for Friday. So the way that works is it's a debit, so I paid money. I paid $3.15 for it. And here's the little calculator. If it closes up above $79, I will receive the difference in the strike prices, which is $17.85. I can close it out for that. And then any bit of price action up here will be worth more money. Actually, no, it's just till up here. So this is not a YOLO, but hoping for good action on AMC, and I feel like it probably will be this week. I think it'll kind of inverse GME, and then next week I think GME will be green and AMC will be selling off. That is my prediction. Rocket, I bought 2 rocket calls, 3 rocket calls. And yeah, Rocket's one of the other ones that's heavily manipulated and shorted. Kind of starting to run up a little bit today. These are 22 calls expiring Friday. They lost value. They were up at one point, but I bought a little bit into premium maybe. We'll see though. This hourly is not great. Daily actually looks nice. Look, sort of. It's nice because it's still over the 9 moving average, but this is kind of like a head and shoulders type deal. I don't know. I don't really look for head and shoulders too much, but I think that kind of looks like one. We'll see though. This is holding up over the 9 moving average for now. Not a huge play. I've got that in the long term also. That's one I know and I think will be here in 10 years. However, it's not one that I've used yet, although I am looking to do it to refinance a house. So we'll see on that. We also sold in and out of ORF. My puts on HYG. We got puts on HYG, which are up a little bit actually. There was a bunch of open interest on HYG puts for this week. And this is basically market crash type exposure. I only got 11 of them though, and they're close to the money just because HYG doesn't move that much. Can't remember what's an ETF, I believe, of iShares, iBox, high yield corporate bond ETF. So basically predicting corporate bond yields to crash. As you see, it crashed back here during COVID, and then the last one before that was I think 2008. So we'll see on that one. And that was a small play too, very, very small. So Corsair, oh, I opened up SPY call credit spreads a little bit too early on this one. SPY is just teetering before a massive collapse, I believe. Keeps making these all-time highs on red candles. Today's the first all-time high we made on a green candle in a long time. Well, I guess at this level, it's the first time we have, because these all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, and those are all red days. It is actually green day, so maybe SPY is going to keep running. I don't know. For this thing, it's going to sell off when GME goes, or it's going to sell off and then GME is going to go. So I'm bearish on the overall market for that, except for really Gamestop. I picked these call credit spreads up. Look at this thing going into close. I picked them up right about here, and it just, these last 2 5-minute candles just ripped. This was crazy. This was also the lowest volume on the SPY this whole year. Let's see, I believe 39 million. Yeah, the volume is just so low, meaning that this move isn't justified. This big bullish move we have. 39,756. 39,612. Yeah, it's lower than that. That was 5. Yeah, this is the lowest volume we've had all year. So it's going to come down sometime. I have the call credit spreads for Wednesday. They are 423, 424. So basically it has to come down below 423, which not too aggressive. But this is a lot of momentum that came into close. It's a big green candle. Oh boy. Let's see, what other history do we have on here? Yeah, that's pretty much what we did on there on our E-Trade. So a lot of positions right now. I don't like this many. Banks sold off today. I think the CEO of JP Morgan was talking about inflation and interest rates, rising interest rates. And I think that might have been the scare on all the banks today. I'm not certain. But I have bearish plays in the banks because they are also in trouble with this GME short squeeze that is upon us. UONE shares are up today. We're waiting for Juneteenth or closer to Friday to close that position. EYES is also up, is another hype one. This one had a crazy run. On the hourly, this one looks really nice. On the daily, you can see we had a crazy run up to 20, so it's looking good on the daily also. It's moving up actually a lot slower and more organic than it did back here. This was 1, 2, 3 days, and it went from $1 to $20. So 20 extra money in 3 days. Stock market. Volumes, there's not a whole lot of volume on here actually, but yeah, it's looking good still on the daily. So we've got that one, and that's what we have. I also transferred, so I've got the other accounts we have. We have a TD Ameritrade, and then you saw the Fidelity, and then this Webull. I transferred into each of these accounts enough, about 20 grand each, so that they will all be over the PDT rule. So I won't have to worry about that anymore. And that is what I have for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy Money sticks around. Follow us on Twitter, Happy Money YT, and jump on our Discord if you'd like. And we will see you tomorrow when I've sold some puts. Oh boy. All right, peace out.